Happy Advent! This is the third week in Advent when we talk about joy. We can be joyful because God chooses to love us, God chooses to rescue us, God chooses to be with us, and that is a reason to rejoice. But it's not put on a happy face, happy emoji kind of joy. This is the joy of the Lord is my strength kind of joy, the joy that gets us through the day and overflows to others, bringing a little bit of light to those around us. So how do we practice joy without it feeling fake? Well, I've come up with a few things that help me, and I thought I'd just pass them along to you. One is I really truly believe that at the center of joy is gratitude. And if we can have habits of gratitude in our life, that will bring us joy and help us not only know joy, but feel joy in our everyday life. And so if you don't have a habit or a practice that includes gratitude, I would encourage you to find one. Something that I do for myself is that I keep a journal sometimes open on my table that I can write things down throughout the day that I'm thankful for. And I try not to be too general with it. I don't just say I'm thankful for my family or I'm thankful for my house, although those things I'm definitely thankful for. I try to be very specific. And so I might say something like, I'm thankful that I got to go for a walk with my son today and have a good conversation. Or I'm thankful that I got to sit with my husband and laugh about something together. So to have specific things that you're thankful for, that you can write down or be aware of throughout your day will help bring joy. Another way that we can practice joy is to worship. It's to praise God. And to know that our worship isn't dependent on whether or not we're in the mood to worship God or whether we're feeling it that day, but we worship because God is worthy of our praise. And so even if you have an obligation or a habit of worship that brings you to church every Sunday or helps you turn on the online worship service, I want to affirm you in that because God is worthy of your praise, whether you're in the mood for it or not. But here's the beautiful thing. In one of the Psalms, there's a verse that says, He has put a new song of praise in my heart, a song of praise to my God, so that all who see and hear will trust in the name of the Lord. So what's your new song of praise that God has given you? What's your specific worship today of God? Because God has put a song of praise in your heart. So I encourage you to worship. And that doesn't mean just Sunday worship. That means worshiping throughout the week in all that you do, recognizing God's worth of our praise. Another thing that we can do to practice joy in our lives is to open our hearts. Open our hearts to each other and to open our hearts to God. And I know that's a risk. I know that might mean you get hurt. But when we live self-protecting, when we live closed off from others, we are limiting our capacity for joy because we find joy in community and in relationship with others. So I encourage you to be vulnerable, to risk joy by risking opening your heart. Lastly, another way that we practice joy in our lives is to celebrate. To celebrate every milestone, every good thing, every moment that we can, to rejoice with those who rejoice and to celebrate life because God has given us this life. It is a gift. And so as we give thanks and as we worship and as we open our hearts to each other and to God, and when we celebrate, we'll be practicing joy each day. And we will know the joy of Christ, the kind of joy that is our strength each day. Happy Advent.